Welcome back to the Hero's Journey Project. I'm your host, Nick. We are reading Golden Age comic books. Well, I'm reading them and I'm telling you about them. We are in 1945, January 1945. Without further ado, let's get a look at the books. We're going to look at 10 books again this week. Usual. And let's see what's up. Okay, so first up, Marvel Mystery Comics, January 1945. Got yourselves an Alex Schomburg cover here. This guy all tied up in the middle there. Looks like some sort of torture device is coming down on him. It's a big drill. Not looking pleasant. You got these unpleasant looking people also on the cover. They're all shooting at our buddies. Human Torch and Toro. So, first up, Human Torch and Toro investigate a murder to find that the killer made the victim look like him to collect the insurance money. Bum, bum, bum. After that, we had the Submariner. He discovers an escaped mental patient is taking humans. Is what? Oh. Submariner discovers an escaped mental patient is taking humans, putting them into sea creatures and other ghastly monstrosities. Crazy, crazy times. Paradise of Horror right there. That's the name of the story. Miss America takes down a Nazi spy that hypnotizes Navy officials and attempts to destroy a U.S. warship with a bomber. It's a fun story. I do like the Miss America stories. They're actually pretty fun. Well written. There's her, I'm going to call it a titles page. It's not as much of a splash, just has kind of one big panel. Following that, the Patriot breaks up a counterfeit bond ring. So that's the mystery of the bogus bonds. It's like he's punching Hitler in the face there. Swinging from a chandelier, punching Hitler. Sure, why not? And finally, the angel pulls back the curtain on an imposter pretending to be a high priest in order to get valuables from his followers. And there's the angel splash page. Not the true splash page, the whole page taken up by the one panel. That's what I call a splash page. Look at that. Good times. The angel stories are okay. They seem to be written pretty well. I do like them. Patriot's also okay. Submariner. Submariner seems to be a lot of the same thing for the most part. Spend a lot of time on land for guys from the sea. He's not my favorite guy, but who knows? All right, next up, Master Comics number 57, also January 1945. All right, look at that cover page. You got Captain Marvel Jr. busting out. Dr. Savannah in the background there. It looks like he's on some sort of movie screen with Freddie Freeman. Got radar on the bottom left, radar on the top left. Radar's all over the place. It's awesome. Bulletman, Nyoka. So here's the radar. I'll call it title page. Not really splashy. Not very splash. But yeah, Radar's my favorite character for sure. Love that guy. He is awesome. Yeah. All right. So Radar sorts out a border dispute between India and Afghanistan. That's what he does in this story. Love how, and he's the first story in the comic. I love that. He's getting like top billing in the book. I mean, yeah, sure, does kind of a minor appearance on the cover, but yeah, that's Radar. He's awesome. Captain Marvel Jr. unravels Dr. Savannah's secret to transform into a boy to escape capture. So he can, in this story, he can take a pill and transform into a boy, and then people don't know who he is. It's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of thing, but it's always the same guy. Okay, so there's the title page. Not so splashy. That's a fun story. I do like the Captain Marvel Jr. stories. Okay, after that, we have Miss America magazine number 4. Oh, isn't that guy so dreamy on the cover? Look at that. I really like the red on the background. Really makes everything else kind of stand out. It's a good cover. All right, good times, good times. So, all right, now in this issue, there's only one Miss America story, and that's down. There were two last issue. No, it's just one. I guess they're focusing more on the teenage girl type stories, and this is school on set, right? So a little young Elizabeth Taylor talking about her adventures about going to school on a movie set, and she's saying school is fun, right? I think she did. She does say, I kind of glanced over really quickly, but did say it was kind of a fun thing to do. And here's the Miss America splash page, right? So in this story, Miss America uncovers a scheme to sell rich people glass statues with sleeping gas vials that melt later on, so thieves can rob the house of the owners, right? So it'd be like a unicorn, and they'll add another horn on there, and then when the owners of the statue get home, that second horn kind of melts down, the gas gets out, knocks the occupants of the house out, and the robbers come in and rob them blind. That's awesome, right? Okay, here's one fun one: Miss America holiday fashions. Look at that. Yeah, in case you were wondering, that's what she Miss America looks like. Looks like around Christmas time in the 1940s. Good time. Good time. Look, the price is like 25 cents, 25, 15 cents, 15. Like, that's crazy. That's just nuts. I don't know if those are actual everyday. Oh, I think you're just you're just getting the patterns to make the outfits for a quarter or 15 cents. You're not actually getting the outfits. That's ridiculous. That is not a deal. Call me when the sale's on. All right, more fun comics. 101. Turns out this is a terrible scan of the cover, but is the February 1945 issue. I don't know why they noted that Green Arrow was on the cover twice, and he's shown on the cover. I don't know why they'd have to. I don't know why they put that on there twice. But all right, so let's get into this issue. It's a fun one to unpack. So I love, and I'll show you the splash page. This is a great splash page. Look at that. That is reminiscent of much more modern comic art. Some great details on it. I love it. This is a fantastic. This is one of the best splash pages I've seen in the golden age, I have to say. More, I don't give a lot of credit to these DC comics sometimes, but that is a fantastic splash page. Love it. Really like it. Really nice, bright colors, vivid, and you've got some good action on there, good details. I love it. Love it. Green Arrow and Speedy recover the stolen formula for a synthetic silk. And after that is Aquaman. Aquaman is in some sort of waiting room with a bunch of sea creatures. So, that's fun. Aquaman protects some sea creatures and an aquarium caretaker from some thugs trying to sell seaside homes on a beach that is eroding. So yeah, they're trying, somehow these thugs own these properties on the beach, and they know that the beach is eroding, and really those houses are going to end up in the sea eventually. So trying to sell them really quickly before that happens. I guess that's the whole scam. I don't know how they ended up with them in the first place. They're just trying to scam people into buying houses that are going to fall into the sea eventually. So I guess I don't know who the suckers are really. I don't know how they ended up with these properties in the first place. That's the real mystery. Okay, here it is. First appearance of Superboy, who's really, it's Superman. So, but it's a different incarnation of the character, but it is his first appearance. So here is Superboy is featured in a 5-page retelling of Superman's origin. The strip fills in the story between landing on Earth and becoming Superman, right? So this is Superboy's story is going to be, him. He lands on Earth, grows up, he's a kid, his teen tween years before he becomes a newspaper reporter, mild-mannered Clark Kent in the big city, right? So this is him. So that's the very first panel that you're seeing on the screen where Superboy appears. Now, I understand that in Action Comics, Superman appeared as a baby, so I don't know. Look, it's the first appearance of Superboy. All right, that's all you get. That's what it is. Fun story. This was a really short story. It was only 5 pages, but it was an interesting read. I'm curious to see where it goes. Johnny Quick, he's up next. Nice splash page for him. Johnny Quick helps an old miser who thinks he's on his deathbed right some wrongs of the people he's cheated. Right, so good for him, Johnny Quick. Love it. And the Spectre helps out Percival Pop one last time as he is fooled by some jewel thieves. It's the last Golden Age appearance of the Spectre, and it's the second last appearance for all time for Percival Pop. And it's his last in the Golden Age. So Percival Pop will show up again one more time in the modern age, or certainly is included in some sort of modern age book. And I'm happy to see this guy go. Percival Pop, such a blundering moron. There's nothing in common with the Spectre. I don't understand why the Spectre thinks he needs to keep an eye on this guy. And I feel bad for the Spectre because he really, DC seemed to be leaning more towards these funny books. And that's where Percival Pop comes in, I assume. Anyway, I'm glad that, I feel bad that they're canceling this character, Spectre, great character, but we'll see him back again in the Bronze Age, I believe, and we'll see his reincarnation as more of a Spectre than a babysitter. So that'll be great. Okay, after that, we have Plastic Man, number 38 in January 1945. I got another Jack Cole cover. It's an okay cover. Again, but Jack Cole, I feel is these aren't as great as they were before. That's how I feel. There's a Plastic Man splash page. Plastic Man is on guard when a bounty is placed on his head and catches the would-be assassin. So look at that. I love it. You got like a nice kind of ghostly spectral figure there. That's pretty cool. Plastic Man going up that guy's pant leg right through his shirt and punches him in the face. Why not? After that, Human Bomb is up. That's his splash page. Kind of a different looking layout for the panels. Looks okay. It's okay. It doesn't stand out, but it's okay. Human Bomb takes down an imposter and his buddies. Human Bomb takes down an imposter and his buddies that robbed guests at a masquerade party. So everyone went to this masquerade party dressed up as the Human Bomb. But don't worry, our buddy made sure to take care of those guys. Sensation Comics number 37, January 1945. Sure is a lot going on this cover. Right. Okay, so the Wonder Woman splash page, right? Wonder Woman is on hand when the protective grid at Paradise Island goes down and Nazis accidentally invade. The Nazis were patrolling in a sub and they accidentally got caught in the electrical grid that protects Paradise Island. And anyway, that ended up landing on shore and trying to invade. Don't you worry, everyone kind of put a stop to that. Now, I found this story interesting because I didn't realize that there were kids on Paradise Island. Maybe I forgot about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing the modern day Wonder Woman stories with the older stuff. And here is an image of that protective grid around Paradise Island. So you had Paradise Island, got Reform Island, and then I guess 20 miles offshore is where that protective grid keeps people from going anywhere near the island. They have undersea power projectors. No ship can pass this protective electric current to approach Paradise Island. Now you know. That's why you couldn't find it. Mr. Terrific. Here's his title page. Mr. Terrific discovers that artificial lightning is being created by the nephew of a scientist trying to kill him in order to gain his inheritance. So the nephew stole the papers for creating the artificial lightning from his uncle and used it to destroy all of his possessions while trying to kill him. Not the best way to inherit fortune. So the first time his nephew Ding Dong tries to kill his uncle, he destroyed a barn or some sort of outbuilding on the property. Second time, he destroyed the mansion that the professor was living in. So I don't know what this guy was thinking to get as an inheritance, but he really destroyed a lot of that property. That was terrible planning. After that, Wildcat. He helps out a small town that is being oppressed by a crook who owns most of the land. There you see on the title page that Mr. Steely named the town after himself. He's the sheriff. He's the banker. He has the hotel. He owns like everything. And he's just trying to muscle out all the ranchers that live around there too. It's not a nice man. Star Spangled Comics number 40. That's from January 1945. Somehow there's a little flying machine on the cover. Has no relation to the story inside. So I don't know. All right, I'm just going to warn you in advance. This issue is going to be a little weird because I couldn't find a complete scan of this issue anywhere. I checked a few different places and they did not have a complete story. So there is the Newsboy Legion story, which features the Guardian, right? That one was there, no problem. So the Guardian is in a race to catch an ex-criminal looking to publish his memoirs and blame ex-partners for his crimes. His partners find out about it also. So this guy was, he was writing a book and he was gonna publish stories, but all the crimes that he committed, he was just gonna replace the names with some of his former associates. They did not like that. See, and then here's where it gets kind of goofy. Here's the ROBOTMAN splash page. Looks like it would have been a fun story. Although for some reason they gave the spider guy there 9 legs. Come on, that's just crazy. Who does that? But then it skipped down to the Star Spangled Kid story. So that story is there, not their splash. But Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy encourage an ex-con to carve out his biography using walnuts in the hopes that he will give away his former associates. So, this guy he did his time. He was released from prison and he started carving walnuts that looked like people. And a lot of them looked like himself, looked like people that he knew. And Star Spangled Kid thought, oh, you know what? I'll get this guy to tell his story using the walnuts. He carve all sorts of people from his past. Then we'd find out who his associates were because this guy would not give it up. So maybe somehow subconsciously he'll carve out those faces and we'll be able to tell. Anyway, well, the former associates showed up anyway and gave themselves up. So it worked out. Liberty Bell shows up in this issue. Here's her splash page. Now, I really feel that there was a missed opportunity here to add a little more color on this splash page, especially where that guy's getting whacked in the head with the sword. Could have chosen a different color than make it match the background. Even like around the dragon's mouth. It just seems it could have been a little better. Liberty Bell puts an end to Japanese military smuggling equipment up a Chinese river. So yeah, she is busy these days, and she's out in the east end of the world trying to stop the Axis from doing what they do. Superman number 32 is February issue 1945. I would imagine this cover is extremely difficult to get in high grade. I don't know if this is a classic cover. I hadn't seen it before, but it looks really interesting and pretty neat. In the first story, Superman loses his memory. He gets he undergoes some sort of experiment. He went voluntarily. Anyway, got rid of his memory and he forgot who he was, and he figured he had a secret identity, but he couldn't figure out what that secret identity was. And good news is eventually he figured it out. In the next story, Clark Kent and Lois Lane set out to report on the opening of a new ski resort where they found fur runners murdering to keep their smuggling activities from being discovered. And again, bad guys on skis in white outfits. Yeah, I think James Bond every time. I said it before, I'll say it again. It's awesome. Here's Lois Lane's title page. Lois Lane takes down the racket at the zoo of the ventriloquist and his pickpocket accomplice. So she's given a story to go report on the fun things going on at the zoo. And she stumbles onto the racket of this guy who's making people laugh and entertaining them by being a ventriloquist and making it sound like the animals are talking and all that fun stuff. Meantime, everyone's distracted. His buddy, the pickpocket, is going through the crowd and cleaning them out. Lois Lane was having none of that. And finally, the toy man appears. He's back and gets out of jail. Superman figures out that the toy man is making toys to give to the kids of wealthy people in order to steal antiques that seem worthless, but they actually hold hidden treasures inside. So these rich, wealthy people had, over the course of time, purchased some crazy antiques from that had to do with the French Revolution. The toy man read about it while he was in prison. He read about how these rich baron or whatever would, before they were caught, would hide their jewels in statues and doors from their chariots. And so Toyman figured it all out, stole all these little pieces back and was breaking out all the jewelry from them, but Superman caught on, was not impressed, as he seldom is when shenanigans go on. Whiz Comics number 61, also January 1945. Captain Marvel almost ends up with a first name when an insurance salesman tries to help him collect an inheritance, but the true heir is found. So there was some guy with the last name Marvel that passed away. And there weren't a lot of people with the name Marvel around, so some lawyers tried to see if Captain Marvel would be the beneficiary for this inheritance. They had to figure out what his first and middle names were, and he couldn't figure it out because he's never gone by first and middle names, always been known as Captain Marvel. Some shady insurance guy tried to give him a first and middle name and kind of went along with it for half a minute. He decided better of it and to go actually find the person that is the rightful heir to the inheritance. And it turned out to be some guy living in a pretty remote area who had something like 14, 15 kids, could really use the money. The last story of that issue. Oh, sorry. Here's the Captain Marvel. That's the. This was the title page from that issue, and there's the shady insurance guy was in there right away. That's him on the front. But the Ibis the Invincible. Ibis is almost destroyed by the Rod of Hermes that was discovered innocently at an auction. So this Rod of Hermes was sold at auction for like $1, like nothing, considering how considering its powerful magic. Anyway, Ibis recognized it right away, and the winner of the auction ended up starting to wish for things, and it came true, and then he wished for more things and came true, and he tried to get rid of Ibis, and anyway, almost vanquished him. All right, wow, Comics number 32, January 1945. That's a lot of Mary Marvel on the cover. I don't know why there's 5 of them, but all those other guys on the cover seem to be impressed by what she's got going on. So here, there's her Title page. Mary Marvel figures out why women's hats made in prison are so valuable to some crooks. They contain plans for heists. So you got a guy in prison. He's kind of bored, trying to figure out a way to get messages out to his buddies. So he creates these wonderful hats that women are going crazy for. So they sell really well. And then his crook buddies try to get hold of him because he's hidden plans for some heists in the, I think the first one was a jewelry store heist that these guys found. So he's hidden those plans in the hats. And with that, that would be the last issue from January 1945. And that's been 10 issues. So next time we pick it up, we will be in February 1945. So let's look at the recap. Here it is. Here's all the 10 covers of the issues that we looked at, right? Marvel Mystery Comics, Master Comics, Miss America, More Fun Comics, Police Comics, Sensation Comics, Star Spangled Comics, Superman, Whiz Comics, and Wow Comics. So now out of all of these, the trick is to figure out which one would be the currently most valuable book, highest sale based on a CGC sale that's been recorded. What do you think? Could this be the week where a Fawcett comic picks it up? Maybe a quality comic? Could be the Timely. Been a lot of Timely books that have taken the crown. Could be a DC, right? You got that Superman title that's Superman cover looking pretty good. We got the More Fun Comics. Let's check it out. Ready? Yeah, there it is. So I put it in nice big red. Which book won the crown this week? It's More Fun Comics 101. The first appearance of Superboy. That's it. A 9.4 sold in June of 2021 for $46,000. And I'm going to say that wasn't any ordinary comic that sold. That was part of the Promise Pedigree collection. Okay, so that book, 9.4, I believe that's the highest grade for that book, recorded by CGC. And I watched that auction. The first set of those books that sold went for crazy, crazy prices, way above Overstreet, breaking records all over. I think the whole lot went for something $7 million just for something like 300 books. And this was part of it. The first appearance of Superboy, I guess, made a difference. Now, to be fair, I knew about the Superboy book, and Superboy was going to be the winner even before the auction for the Promise Pedigree collection. So even before, it had there was a 3.0 that sold for in April of 2021 for something like $2,400. A best offer was taken on that book, but still, it would have been the highest regardless. It would have beat out the Timely book, where 7.5 sold in May of 2021 for $2,460. I mean, a 3.0 sells for probably, let's knock off 10%, maybe $2,200, say it sold for $2,200 in 3.0. That's still going to beat out the Marvel Mystery Comics. So I gave it to the More Fun Comics. It's pretty cool to see some of that auction, I got to say. Now, the Master Comics, the most recent sale that was recorded is from 2014. It was only for $60. Man, what a steal that was. Geez, it looks like there's only 6 on the census of that book too. So it's certainly pretty scarce. I can imagine that book would sell for a lot more if it came up for auction now than $60. And if it only comes up for $60, I will grab that right away. Miss America magazine. Last sale for that one was in 2019, and it was $149. And there was only 2 on the census that I could find, so it's also kind of a rare book there. Another rare book was the Wow Comics, number 32. So the 9.0 of that one sold in October 2016 for $173. There are only 3 on the census of that one too. So 3 books that have less than 10 recorded grades on the census in this episode. That says grades 30% of the books. That's quite a bit actually. I gotta say that Superman cover 8.0 May 2021 for $19.25. I thought it would have been a little more based on the cover. Maybe it's not as iconic as I would have thought. For an 8.0, it's a decent showing. It just, I would have thought it'd be more. Certainly would have thought it'd be more. Like Whiz Comics for $89 for 6.5. That it just seems low. I mean, for a golden age book, it seems like people are getting a steal. Anything under $100 for golden age book for something that's mid-grade is really good. Yeah, Police Comics was also under $100. That was in October 2019 for 3.0. So I can see that. I can see it, certainly. All right, that's all I got for this week. If you haven't had a chance to check out that Promise Pedigree collection, I highly recommend you go to Heritage Auctions and have a look at the completed prices for those auctions. They are just bonkers. Thousands and thousands of dollars, $7 million worth of books. That is crazy. And that's only the first lot of them. They're going to be selling these through the next year, because I believe, if I read correctly, that there's 5,000 books in that collection. Now, I don't know if they're all going to be as key books, we'll say. I don't know, because this was part of a signature auction for Heritage, so I don't know if the other ones would belong in a signature auction, command same kind of dollar figure. It'll be interesting to see. We'll be keeping an eye on that one for sure. All right, so that's our 10 books for the week. Hope you liked it. First appearance of Superboy, which is a weird first appearance because it's really just Superman as a kid. So whatever. I still like it as first appearance, but when you think about it, it's kind of goofy. All right, thanks very much. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mom. Get everyone on here. It's going to be great. Thanks.